Desire for enlightenment is the freedom also from the incarnational cycles here on this planet over and over and over again. Gets a little boring after a while. Time to move on. So you chose, or you had this feeling of your own freedom, your own enlightenment. And at some point, you threw the dictators out. You learned about aspectology, and you said, get out, integrate, or whatever. Said, but I'm not going to let you run my reality anymore. You learned, I am, and you started proclaiming this, and it was felt from deep within you. I am that I am. It's my freedom, my sovereignty. We're here in the Freedom series right now. There was a shift that occurred, a change that occurred, a lot of changes actually, over these last few years. But, there are a lot of buts in there. A lot of buts, a lot of worrying, a lot of wondering, what's going to happen? Maybe I'm not doing this right. A lot of going back to things, my friends, that you knew weren't serving you, but yet you went back to them because they were comfortable. Even going back to a certain degree and letting other people, other things, and other aspects run your life. So what happened? That these energies with an agenda come in. One could be represented through other people, probably more so through your own aspects that come in and start, well, thank you, start taking over, running things once again, because you're very vulnerable, very, very vulnerable at that point. But then we get back together on a day like today, get back together and we say, no more. We're not even going to give yourself 48 hours. You got until 5 o'clock. It's an hour and 20 minutes. That's it. And why not? Egypt is actually a really good external example of what happens when, whether it's a people or a country, whatever, chooses their freedom. And the cycles, the evolutions that you go through, and some of the challenges that you go through. So today, in just a bit, we'll do our major shift. Not a little one, a big one. A big one. But before we do, question for you. Last month we talked about you being bringers of the new energy. It's actually a very impressive title. It's more impressive than even being a general in the army. It's actually more challenging than being a president of a corporation or a country. I would go so far as to say it is probably, if you took a list at the stress level of all the jobs that there are, I'd be at the top. Truly, they'd be at the top. You're not just making little changes, you're making huge changes, and you have to face yourself every day. Toughest thing a human will ever do. They find every reason in the world to fill their day with activities so they don't have to face themselves. You've chosen to face yourself. Toughest thing a human can do. So here you are, bringers of the new energy, whatever you want to call it, the soon-to-be enlightened, the ones who are bringing new energy to this planet, the ones, and Calder's questioning me if I'm just, fluffing you up a little bit. Absolutely not. That's why I said before, I'm surprised you're here. I mean, really, I'm surprised you're still here. I mean, I'm surprised you're still on this planet. It is stressful. It is so challenging. It's not incremental. It's not linear. It's mind-boggling what you're doing. So here you are, bringers of the new energy, liberators of yourself. How's it going? How's it going? And I asked the question, and there's not an Adamus answer to this, because I've already done it. I want you to hear yourselves, and I want others to hear you, because there's so many times where you're doubting, where you're wondering, is this real? Am I doing the right thing? Is this something that, am I just going a little crazy or really crazy? So by sharing and hearing others for a moment, you begin to understand the magnitude of what you're really doing. Yeah, some of you think, well, I'm just mid-level manager on. We'll have private session. We'll correct that. But you think, I'm just this. I haven't done anything huge on my resume. No. You aren't just. You are absolutely amazing for what you're doing. You are going through everything. You are going back through everything. Even before you were even on this planet, you're going back through it, rebalancing the energies, releasing and freeing energies in consciousness. What you're going through right now is absolutely unprecedented, and I do wish you'd give yourself credit for it. It has nothing to do with your everyday job. That's just a disguise. It's just a distraction. It's about the movements in consciousness you're making for yourself, but it's affecting this entire planet. Oh, and more than that, it's affecting this entire universe. It's affecting all of creation. So, how's it going?